Welcome to the first episode of Great Big Beautiful Podcast. I'm Ty, and I'm joined by Kelly and Erica. And welcome, and here we talk Disney. So, welcome to episode 1. So, let's go ahead and let's meet the cast. My name is Ty. I'm a third grade teacher from Texas. I've been a Disney fan since I saw the Disney on Ice production of Pinocchio when I was 7. Went to Disney World for the first time when I was 10, and I've been there 3 times and to Disneyland once. I will be bringing you the latest news in Disney movies. Let's meet Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm 39 years old. I am from a little suburb just outside Chicago. I am a mom of 2 kids. Let's see. First time I went to Disney, I was probably 5 years old, and I went every year till I was probably in high school. I've always been a huge Disney fan to the point where I decided to do the college program. So I did work in Disney for a few months. I was a cast member, worked at Casey's at the edge of Main Street for a bit. And I'm just trying to pass it along to my kids, and they love Disney too. I am your Star Wars person. I am also a Run Disney person. And also I can talk about going to the parks with children because it's so much fun. So now let's meet Erica.
All right. Hi, my name is Erica. I am 22, and I currently live in Orlando because I'm going to school for hospitality management. I also currently work in the theme park industry. I work in entertainment over at SeaWorld. My hobby really isn't a hobby. I grew up dancing, so dancing is basically my whole life, and it's everything that I want to continue to do. And the first time I went to Disney, I can't remember it because I was 18 months old, but my mom brags about that trip a lot, just because it was the first time I met Mickey Mouse, and I was so tiny, and I loved everything. So she always loves to tell those stories. But ever since I was 18 months old, I would go twice a year. When I ended high school and I had my own car and I was going to college, I started going to Disney about every other weekend on my own, just because I had my car and I could go if I wanted to. And I really started falling in love with it more as an adult than when I was a kid, because I understood it so much more, and I got to share it with people that I loved. So with that being said, I represent all things Disney news, parks updates, because I'm there all the time. At least once a week, I'm over there looking at something that's being updated or changed. That's just my life. I love going to Disney. And now that we have some facts about all of us, let's really get to the most important one, and that is, why do we love Disney? Why do these theme parks really catch our attention? And I'd like to hand that question over to Kelly.
Awesome. So, like I said, I've been going since I was 5, and ever since I was a kid, I always loved going and meeting all the characters, and Disney has always been larger than life for me. I can't tell you how many times I've ridden on Splash Mountain, Space Mountain, and all that stuff, and I think as an adult right now, it brings back the nostalgia factor for me for going back to the parks. And as being a cast member, so I've been to numerous other parks. I've been to Universal. We have, Six Flags out here. I've been to Dollywood. And I always try to hold up that standard of customer service up to the other parks. And most of them, are pretty up there. I just love how Disney goes above and beyond, especially with the little details, how you get in line for Winnie the Pooh, and there's all these things to do while you're waiting in line to get on the ride, or how the different rides, the stories fit in. So Big Thunder Mountain, the story with Prospector, can also fit in with the Adventures Club, and I love the story aspect of things. I love all the extra details that they do. That's why I go back, and I could just sit on Main Street and just watch people all day long and just interact. And, like I said, the customer service is just beyond belief for me. And like being a cast member, it's true because I've been through traditions. I've been through what people have to go through to be there, and they take the best of the best. So, yes, I've been to other theme parks. I do like theme parks in general. I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie. I love roller coasters. Can't do drops, but I do like roller coasters, water rides, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Disney just takes the cake for me. Erica, what about you?
I think I can also say that Disney takes the cake for me. I also did a college program, and my college program was in entertainment. So I got to be a cast member, but from a different perspective. My college program was short, though, due to some medical issues. But even with that, I still hold such a really close love to Disney, just because, like you said, like they put the icing on the cake. Yes, I work for SeaWorld, and I admire everything that they do, and they're getting better with theming. They're getting more consistent about things. Same thing with Universal. They're trying to get more immersive. And I feel like that is the word that a lot of theme parks are missing, the immersive part. They're theming, but not to the point that you are being immersed into a different place. And also, like, Disney has just always been my happy place, my safe place for me. It's where I would go to try to escape everything that was bothering me at home, and like any problems I was having, anything that would make me upset, I would either plan a trip to go to Disney, because that was one of my favorite things. Like, I just love planning trips to go. But also, like, YouTube is where I get my Disney fix. I watch the Tim Tracker. I watch the Disney Unplugged. Like, I try to do so much to keep me in the Disney circle. And then so when I moved to Orlando, I was like, wow, like now I get to be at Disney all the time. And it's just really become my escape for me, for my girlfriend, my family, my friends. Like, it is the center place where we all come together. And I think that's like the thing that Walt wanted it to be, a place where people could come together and just be united and happy and not worrying about everything else in the world. So to me, it's just always been this beautiful escape. And it makes me love it so much. And no other theme park does that for me, ever. So Ty, what do you think? Why do you love Disney so much?
For me, it's a tad bit different than what y'all are saying. For me, I love Disney because of the storytelling, whether it be from the parks and attractions to the resorts to the movies. The Disney storytelling ability is what keeps me coming back. Is what keeps me coming back to going to see Disney movies. No matter how old I get, the storytelling brings me back. Whether it be one of the animated movies, whether it be Pixar, whether it be Marvel Studios or Lucasfilms, the storytelling is what brings me back. Now, for me, the storytelling has always been giving me a sense of adventure. I can go back to when a 10-year-old Ty walking into the Magic Kingdom for the first time and having mom and dad say, "Son, you're our oldest child. You get to pick the first ride." And me and my brother were both always growing up are always obsessed with pirates and stuff like that. So the storytelling of Pirates of the Caribbean is probably my favorite ride, and so that storytelling kept me going, drew me there. But then the storytelling of Thunder Mountain, Haunted Mansion, Splash Mountain, even the storytelling of Star Tours or Tower of Terror, and now the storytelling of even Rock and Roller Coaster. So the storytelling is what brings me back to Disney no matter what. I mean, it gives me that sense of adventure, and it also kind of helps that the magic of the parks is indescribable. So our listeners now know a little bit about us. So let's get into some news. So this past weekend, there was a certain convention in San Diego, Comic-Con, and everybody knows what Comic-Con is. And Hall H was where Marvel Studios was housed for Comic-Con this year. So this past weekend, Phase 4 of the MCU, in its entirety, was announced. So bear with me. Along this, we got Phase 4 of the MCU is going to have 6 movies starting on May 1st, 2020. So the first movie of Phase 4 is Black Widow. She is getting her own solo film. Obviously Scarlett Johansson's going to be the star. They try to bring somebody else in. I'll boycott it because Scarlett Johansson is Black Widow. The only details that I know at this point about this film is that it is Black Widow's backstory and her story before she joined the Avengers. So back when she was still a Russian spy. November 6th, 2020, we're getting the Eternals. The Eternals are another superhero team within the Marvel universe. I don't know much about them. They're a team like the X-Men or the Avengers or Fantastic Four. But the big thing out of this is Angelina Jolie is a star, which I find very interesting personally.
I agree.
Yep.
All right, so now let's go to 2021. February 2nd, 2021. We have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, this movie has already been teased a bit in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This movie was teased back in Iron Man 3, and they did when the Mandarin was the villain. But as we saw in Iron Man 3, that Mandarin was a fake. Now, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is going to bring in the real Mandarin. And at this point, that's all we know at this point. So that leads us to May 7th, 2021. The one Marvel movie that I am single-handedly the most excited about. Okay, we got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. There's not many details about the story of the film since it's still 2 years from coming out. But what is big about this is Scarlet Witch is going to play a huge role in this film, which is super awesome because Scarlet Witch is awesome. Then on November 5th, 2021, we have Thor: Love and Thunder. This going to take the Thor movies in a very, 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 very unique direction. For those of you who aren't aware of the comic books, in the comic books, Jane Long takes up the mantle of Thor, which means one thing: Natalie Portman is back. She will wield Mjolnir, and she will become the female Thor, which is pretty cool. Now, there's one more movie that was announced for Phase 4, but there's no release date. And that's they're remaking Blade and introducing Blade into the MCU. Now, the release date is to be determined, but do know that there's a Marvel Studios release date for June of 2021, I believe it is. So that is space for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I've already made it known. I'm most excited about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Kelly, I'm curious though, which of those movies are you most excited about?
I'm really excited about Blade, actually. I have seen all three of the original Blade movies, and I was actually just talking about these the other day with somebody, and so it'd be interesting to see the remake of Blade. I've seen kind of all the other things. I'm a little superheroed out slightly, and Blade's not, to me, he's not a superhero. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that.
What about you, Erica? Which one are you most excited about?
The one that I have been waiting for like ever is a Black Widow movie, because she is my favorite character and hero, like, ever. Which you guys can assume that in Endgame my heart broke into a million pieces because she is my favorite.
Yes.
And right after I saw that movie, I was like, she really needs her own movie. I need to know her backstory, because I feel like there's so much more about her that we don't know. So that is the movie that I'm looking forward to the most, and I love Scarlett Johansson, so I will be there, and I will get my $5 Tuesday ticket to go to the movie theater at Disney Springs, and I will definitely be there watching that movie.
Now, from what I understand, Black Widow's backstory is supposed to explain why she sacrificed herself in Endgame.
Which is the exact reason why I want to watch it. I want to know what went through her head to make her do that.
I think we all do. All right, so, Kelly, I know you have some exciting news for us about the parks.
I do. Here we're talking about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We are going to the Black Spire Outpost at the planet of Batuu. And I'm sure most people know that in Disney World, it's opening on August 29th, but not the whole land. Well, the whole land is opening, but there are two attractions. Only one of the attractions will be open, and it's the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. And Rise of the Resistance will open December 5th. Now, Disneyland has already opened. And I actually had someone that went there this week. They were actually at Comic-Con this week, and she went to Disneyland before she went to Comic-Con. And she said it was very, very cool. She did ride Smuggler's Run, and she said it was a really interesting ride. You know, Disney outdid themselves. You basically are in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and you can either be a pilot, an engineer, or a gunner, and you take place, you participate basically on the Millennium Falcon. Today, it was just released that cast members got their own preview. So basically, they had to go online and go through a process online and wait in line, kind of like they do with like a Run Disney. When you register for a Run Disney, they had to register for the August 1st through August 15th cast member preview. And they have a 4-hour window that they can go and do a cast member preview. And they can bring one extra person with them. So I did see all over the social media universe, people were posting that they got in to the cast member preview, and they were pretty excited about that. And I don't know about you, Erica, but I did get to do a cast member preview for something before, and cast member previews are awesome.
I wish I got to. I never was able to, but I have a lot of friends that work with me over at SeaWorld that also work at Disney, and they just got all of their cast member previews. They were like freaking out and running to get them.
Yeah, I got to do a cast member preview. I don't know, Erica, you might be a little young to remember this, but Tower of Terror, when they first built it, was one drop. And when I was a cast member there, they were finishing up the more than one drop. So I actually got to ride the cast member preview for the re-release of Tower of Terror when they had more than one drop. And I think I rode it 10 times in a row, where we just got to walk through the front of it and walk through the library, walk through the boiler, get on, ride it, get off, come back. Like, it was awesome. So I'm pretty jealous of these cast member previews for these people right now because for Galaxy's Edge, because I'm actually going myself the week of Halloween, and I was excited. I'm like, I'm going to get to take my kids, and both my kids love Star Wars. And I just found out today that there are no fast passes. So in case anybody is, you know what, I wasn't following along with that because I was thinking, okay, well, I don't have to worry about that until August. I don't have to, and I just found out, I was like, no fast passes? What is this world?
They did the same for Toy Story Land as well. It took them a while to roll out the fast passes.
Yes, I'm hoping to find a fast pass for Slinky Dog. My son will be very disappointed. But I was talking to some of my friends who will be there the week after I will be there, and they're also pass holders. And we were discussing it, and I was like, I can't wait in line 4 hours with 2 kids. And apparently from September 1st through November 2nd, from 6 to 9 a.m., every single day is Extra Magic Hours at Hollywood Studios. So I was like, okay, that's pretty good. I mean, I guess that will eat up some of it. But yeah, I can't fathom it because like I said, I had a friend who just went to Comic-Con, and she's like, well, I just waited 4 hours in line for XYZ Hall. And I was like, yeah, but you didn't have a 7 and a 4-year-old with you. Like, but I do want your guys' opinion on one thing. It's been a kind of a hot topic button between my friends and family is I have heard through, social media, what have you, that Disneyland, their but they opened Galaxy's Edge, and when they opened it, it's not busy, and it was, there's not a lot of people around there, and so do you guys think, Ty, I'll throw it out to you first, do you think that the opening of Walt Disney World Galaxy's Edge will have long lines or not?
I honestly don't think it will. I think what's going to happen is that the same thing with Disneyland, that people have heard, oh, there's going to be such long lines. And then even with Disney World, as of late, Disney World the guests have seen the ridiculously long line to get into Pandora when it opened. They saw the long lines at Toy Story Land when it opened. So I don't think Galaxy's Edge initially is going to see a lot of overflow of guests. But what I think is going to happen is that the Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and Epcot are all going to see spikes in attendance because people are going to be trying to avoid Hollywood Studios because of Galaxy's Edge. So I think the other parks are going to see an increase in attendance. So what do you think, Erica?
I'm actually on the opposite side of the spectrum, just because when you live in Orlando, you can see how crazy the local annual pass holders are, and I've already heard several people that are going to be camping outside of Hollywood Studios for opening day, which makes me believe that there are going to be other people that are doing the same thing, but I don't think it's going to be anybody from, like, the West Coast, because, they already have it. They've already seen it. But the people in Orlando are people of a different breed. Yeah. Because when I went to the opening of Pandora, I didn't think anybody was going to care. I didn't even like the Avatar movie, but I went because I'm a sucker for opening day merchandise. So yes. I went over there, and I was like, you know what? I'll get there at like 6 a.m. because Extra Magic Hours is going to start at 7, and I'll have an hour to, get myself together. When I got there were so many people already lined up that they had to bring the rope into Discovery Island so that all the people could fit. And I was like, I didn't expect this because I didn't think it was going to be a big thing. So I think Disney is expecting a lot because of the fact that they are opening Food and Wine at Epcot the same day. I think that they're hoping that they can spread out the crowds of the people who rather go to Food and Wine than go see Galaxy's Edge. Where for me, I think I'm going to wake up really early. I'll head over to Galaxy's Edge, just get my first opening day merchandise, and then hop on over to Food and Wine Festival so I can grab like a drink or two, some food, and, call it a day, because I know I won't be able to see Galaxy's Edge fully with some peace and tranquility for a while, and I deal with a lot of bad anxiety. So if I am in the place that is going to have too many people, I'm going to end up freaking out, and it's not a fun time. But that's where my disability pass comes in with Disney, and I'm hoping that they can start accepting that, even if they're not accepting fast passes, so that I can at least be able to ride something eventually. But I do believe that Animal Kingdom is going to get really empty really fast. I think the people that are smart are going to say, you know what, if everyone else is going to go to Galaxy's Edge, I think I'm actually going to try to enjoy Pandora this time, because Pandora still is very packed. The line is all the way outside of Flight of Passage. There's hardly any ways to walk. There's always people trying to control the flow of guests because there's so many people around there. So I think the park that is going to be the emptiest is most likely going to be Animal Kingdom, but also because it's further out of the way. I don't think Magic Kingdom will ever not be empty, especially because it's already going to be Mickey Not So Scary time, so people are going to be at Magic Kingdom. Epcot's going to have Food and Wine, and Hollywood Studios is going to have Galaxy's Edge, and I think we're going to see, if anything, Hollywood Studios is going to be packed in a different way. I think people are going to think everyone's going to be in Galaxy's Edge, so I'm going to just go on over to Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, because the waits should be down now. Because right now, those wait times have been skyrocketing because they're the only really good rides that are open right now.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really what people's mentality is going to be. I don't think Animal Kingdom is going to be in the question so much anymore, just because of everything going on in the other parks. I think if Disney wants to attract people to Animal Kingdom, they need to come up with something quick to try to get people into that park.
Yeah.
So that's where my thought process is kind of moving to, just because I live in Orlando. I work with a bunch of people who work at Disney, and I'm surrounded by people who always go to Disney, and from just hearing I'm camping out, I want to be there all day. I just know it's going to be a hectic opening, but I think because it's Florida and it's the Orlando Walt Disney World Resort, I think we are going to see a pattern of it being a pretty busy park for at least, I want to say, a month into it, because then people are going to be like, okay, there's only one ride, not much I can do. And then once the second attraction opens, then I think we'll see a big group of people come through and start coming into the land a lot more, because there's going to be more things to do. So that's where I stand on that.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm up in the air, because it was explained to me that, I live in a little bubble of if it doesn't affect me, I don't know too much about it. But it was explained to me that in California, the pass holders were blocked from going when Galaxy's Edge opened. So that's why in California, there are people that live in California, they go to Disneyland. Disneyland is not so much as big as a touristy thing as it is in Disney World. So you're going to have a lot of the people who are like, I don't think they couldn't go. So I think I don't know, seeing how I have a friend who goes to Disney 4 or 5 times a year, and she still cannot get a fast pass for Slinky Dog Dash. I don't know. I'm thinking that it's gonna be a long wait for a while, especially without fast passes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that the 6 to 9 a.m. extra magic hours do help out. Did they do that with Toy Story, Erica? The extra magic hours in the morning?
I'm not really sure. I don't really remember. I did not go to opening day for Toy Story, which is very sad, but I think they did have extra magic hours a day of. But for some reason, I feel like they weren't expecting such a big rush of people for Toy Story Land. But I do know they're doing the same thing they did for Pandora with Galaxy's Edge. They're going to have extra magic hours, I believe, in the morning and at night.
Okay.
To allow that extra time for people that are staying in hotels, which is the exact reason when I went to Pandora, I stayed on property, because I wanted those extra magic hours to be able to go see it in the morning, and then I came back and saw it at night to see how the differences are. So that's why I believe Disney's doing it this way too. But yeah, I'm not sure about Toy Story. I just know that Slinky Dog hasn't gone down in wait time, but it hasn't been as long as it was the first week that it opened.
Well, true, right, yeah.
I just feel that I personally have problems with the fast passes just because, like, the people that get to pick it ahead of time, and then so people who want it now, they can't get the fast pass for it, gets already taken, but then they end up missing their fast pass time, so then the fast pass gets dropped, and that person's not checking the app constantly, so they don't see that the fast pass has been dropped. Sometimes I miss the paper fast passes, but obviously it's more efficient to have the magic bands or just your one ticket card that has your fast passes on it. I just never get to do Slinky Dog unless I get a disability return time for it, because there's never anything on the app that I can get for that ride. So
yeah, I think it's going to be a little crazy. I'm shooting to just be able to take my kids and kind of interact and see cast members and see the cool shops, and go and see the Savi's workshop where you can make the lightsabers, or go to the Droid Depot, even though I might not be able to take my kids out of there because those are not cheap. I think they're like $100 and $200, respectively, something along those lines. But I also think too, because Disneyland opened first, so everybody has kind of seen it all over the internet. They've seen the people, they've seen. You said you followed Tim Tracker. I follow, Big Fat Panda, and I have seen some of Tim Tracker stuff. And there were a lot of people that went to California for the opening, and they got to do the media preview. People are trying the blue milk or the green milk, so you know what it tastes. So I'm not sure. I really don't know. I don't know which way it's going to go. I don't know. I mean, like you said, yeah, people are going to camp out because that's what people do for Star Wars. But I wonder if after a couple of weeks or not, if it will die down because people are like, I saw it in California, or, saw it on the internet. So I don't know. I mean,
it's not a secret anymore. After California opened, there's no longer anything that's really a secret. We already expect that we're getting the same thing here in Disney World. So it's like, okay, like, we already saw what they have over there, so I guess we'll just check it out once, and that's about it.
Right. I will say this. I think Disney kind of shot themselves in the foot with the opening of the Galaxy's Edge. I really feel like for what you're saying, since Disney, people in Florida have already seen the videos, they've already seen people from California. I think that both parks, the Galaxy's Edge, should have opened on the same day. That way this could be avoided. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
I agree.
So, Erica, what do you have in news for us now that I've talked everybody's ear off about Star Wars?
So my news is going to be about Halloween at Walt Disney World. If you didn't know, Halloween starts in 2 weeks. Mickey's not.
Which is ridiculous.
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
The first day is August 16th.
That's
and
ridiculous.
Halloween, my friends, is in October, not August. October. Halloween is in October. I wrote a blog post about this a year ago because last year it started on August 17th, and I was livid just because summer isn't even over yet, and we are hopping straight into Halloween. And I know it's because Disney wants families that are here for their summer to end it with this Halloween event. But I'm sorry, we live in Florida, and if you come visit Florida, it is too hot. Still, at night, it is in the upper 80s. There's no way that you are going to enjoy running around the Magic Kingdom in, like, costumes and just all the heat. It's just, I did it during my college program just because I got my first paycheck from Disney, and I wanted to go to Not So Scary because I hadn't gone since I was a kid, and all my makeup just started melting off my face. So I understand Disney wants to make the money. They want to make it last longer, but Halloween in August doesn't seem right. When it used to start in mid-September, that was perfect because it's right before the month of Halloween. So, you're getting excited, you're getting in that Halloween spirit and you're feeling the fall. Because really, when you go to Magic Kingdom during the Halloween time and during fall, it's mainly fall decorations at the Magic Kingdom. It's all the leaves turning different colors and the pumpkins, because it's not so scary, so there's not really anything to be scared of, and that color scheme screams fall. Well, in August, the weather is not screaming fall, and the fact that the party ends on November 1st, I can already tell you that the Christmas party is probably starting November 7th or 8th, because there was a week in between the parties last year as well.
Which is ridiculous in itself.
It really is, because I get it. There are people who come here for 2 weeks, and Disney's like, well, at the beginning of their vacation, they can do Mickey's Not So Scary, and by the end, they can do Mickey's Very Merry Christmas. But it's like, we really don't need a Halloween party that long. If you told me September 1st, I would be okay with that. But August?
And even with the Christmas party should not start until after Thanksgiving.
Okay, my birthday is December 1st. So growing up, the Christmas party would always start around my birthday. And it always made me so happy, because I was like, you know what? My birthday, Mickey and Minnie are having this huge celebration. I get to go see all these Christmas things. But now that it starts beforehand, it's like last year I went to the Christmas party, but I went in November. Because guess what? In December, they jack up the prices so high that it's not reasonable to go in December. Same thing with the Halloween party.
Yeah, I agree.
The Halloween party, when we start I'm pulling up the price right now. Opening day is $85 for adults, so with tax that's going to be $90. But then the second day, which is on a Tuesday, the tickets are $79. But once we move deeper into all of this, let's see. In September, it's still around the 80s and 70s, but October 3rd, $105.
Mm-hmm.
$105 to go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party.
Yeah, we're going November 1st, and I think it was 115 maybe, or 100. Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, it's 115 for ages 10 and up, and it's 110 for kids.
Yeah. So it's a family of 5. So, not to interrupt what you're saying, but so we decided that we're going to have to forego going to the parks that day. First of all, we want the kids to stay up late, but second of all, that's the same price as a park ticket.
Yeah.
So,
at least that ticket you can get into Magic Kingdom, I believe, at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But still, that's the price of a ticket to get in the park, on top of having to buy food that day in the park, snacks, whatever. I always ask them, is it worth it? Because even now, they upped the cap of how many people are allowed into this party, and so before, there was no wait to get on any of the rides, none of that.
Right.
There wasn't a long wait for meeting Jack Skellington, but now there's waits for everything.
Yep.
There's long lines, and it's people would come to this event because it was time they could get the separate theming and be able to get on rides quicker than they could during the day at the park. But now it's just as packed as a normal day in the park.
Yeah, I have a friend who went, it was either last year or 2 years ago, and she stood in line for 2 hours to meet the 7 Dwarfs.
Yeah, no, because that's what you wait on a normal day.
Yeah, I don't know that I would wait that long for a character. I do love me a good character, but no, nope.
I could not wait that long. I would never. And I get it. I was a character. I worked in entertainment over there, and so I had to work on one of the Not So Scary nights, and there were lines that were so long, and I was like, this is not how it was when I was growing up. What changed? And I found out they changed the amount of tickets they sell for the event because they want to make more money. And I understand Disney is a company at the end of the day, and they need that revenue, but still, they think that raising the price for the tickets is going to steer people away, but they also know that if people want to go, they're still going to find a way to go.
That they are.
Yep.
Same thing with how the annual prices went up And they didn't change normal ticket prices, only annual pass holder prices, because the day before they changed the prices for annual passes, they announced that if you have a certain annual pass, you will be allowed into Galaxy's Edge before opening day.
Yep.
And then the next day, prices went up. And thank God I had upgraded my pass a week before, because if not, I would be spending $77 a month for the annual pass that I upgraded to. But right now, it's only $63. But I'm gonna have to downgrade next year because watch, the prices are gonna go up again.
Yeah. I got 3 of my friends are getting the annual passes, and they just got them like a month before it went up, and I was like, oh, that would have been $200 extra in their out of their pocket. Yeah, they would have not been happy.
Yep. The end of my argument is that Halloween does not start in August. As much as it is a fun holiday and the decorations are fun, it doesn't start in August. And people are still going to go, though. People are going to be there opening night. But I just don't agree with it, and I have been mad at it ever since they started opening it so early. I just don't think it's right. Don't think it's right.
Should open at the end of September.
Yep, I agree. At least September, 15th or 20th. Because I believe that's used to open. But now it's let's just start it as soon as possible. And I get the marketing standpoint. I get the revenue standpoint. I just don't understand the efficiency point of it for people going. You're going to be waiting. Your chocolate is going to melt. You're going to be sweating. There's no breeze. For me, it doesn't sound like a fun time. And I want to go to the party, but I told myself the only way I'll go is if, family members want to go. And I'm like, hey, if you guys are going to go, then we're going to all go together. But I don't think out of my own will I'm going to go in this heat at this time.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going just because my kids have never gone and I want to see it. I've never seen it. So.
Well, there is going to be a new nighttime show. They got rid of Hallowishes, and they're starting a new fireworks show. So I think that'll be awesome for you guys to see, because it's going to have a bunch of different projections. There's going to be a storyline apparently in the show. So I think that's going to be one of the most beneficial parts. And I really think you guys should go check out the Pirates of the Caribbean, because they're going to have some live actors in the attraction. So that's
cool.
Cool. They played around with it last year, and I think they only had 2 live actors in it. But now I think they said they're going to have more, and the actors follow a certain storyline. So while you're on the ride, they'll be running around the ride and telling the story and acting out the story. But if you guys have anything else to chime in on, go ahead, and then we can just go from there, and we can peace out on this.
I think I'm good on my end.
I'm good.
All right, so thank you guys for listening to our first episode here. We got to introduce ourselves. We got to talk about some news, and I think it was all very interesting news and great conversation. And with that, I just want to say, remember, there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and it's just a dream away.